The text came at 11:47 p.m. in that Guadalajara Holiday Inn lobby. 8 words from Tyler that ended 15 years of loyalty. You're fired. Card canceled. Figure it out yourself. I stared at my phone screen, reading those words 3 times. The marble floor under my feet felt more solid than anything else in my life at that moment. People walked past me speaking Spanish, dragging luggage, living their normal lives while mine was crumbling. I didn't throw my phone. I didn't curse. I just stood there, a 48-year-old man with $240 in my wallet, stranded 1,500 miles from home. My name is Nathan Pierce. I've got an 8-year-old son named Mason, who still sleeps with the baseball glove I gave him when he was 6. His mother died of cancer when he was 3, so it's just been us 2 figuring things out together. I'd been working at Belmar Industrial for 15 years, started as a junior tech when I was 33, worked my way up to supervisor, then got demoted back to manufacturing coordinator when I refused to play games with the books. Belmar makes heavy industrial equipment, hydraulic presses, conveyor systems, machinery that keeps America's factories running. I wasn't some big shot executive, but I was good at what I did. Really good. I understood metallurgy, could read steel specifications like other people read newspapers. When suppliers talked about ISO 9001 standards or tensile strength ratings, I knew exactly what they meant. That's how you build trust in this business. You know your stuff and you don't BS people. My boss, Tyler Rodriguez, was 45, always wore expensive suits he probably couldn't afford, drove a BMW that was more style than substance. He got promoted to operations director 3 years ago, and I still don't understand how. The man barely knew the difference between carbon steel and stainless steel, but he sure knew how to kiss up to the right people in corporate. Tyler had a favorite hobby, reminding me where I stood in the pecking order. You're lucky to have this job, Nathan, he'd say when I asked for time off to take Mason to a doctor's appointment. There are plenty of people who'd kill for your position. I'd bite my tongue and say, yes, sir, understood. What choice did I have? Mason needed health insurance. Private school tuition was $1,200 a month. My 401 kilo wasn't going to fund itself, and at 48, starting over somewhere else wasn't exactly appealing. 2 months before that text message destroyed my world, Tyler called me into his office. We've got a major problem, he announced, leaning back in his leather chair. Our steel supplier in Mexico, the one who provides components for our entire automotive line, they're threatening to walk away from us. What's the issue? I asked, though I had a pretty good idea. How should I know? You're the technical guy. That's your department, right? I contacted Oliver Fernandez that same afternoon. He ran a family operation about an hour outside Guadalajara, 3 generations making some of the finest steel components I'd ever encountered. His wife, Victoria, handled the administrative side of the business. They'd been working with Belmar for 5 solid years, never missed a delivery date, never cut corners on quality standards. Oliver was frustrated when we talked, and rightfully so. Your company treats us like we're machines, Nathan, he told me during our call. Last month, they wanted to pay us 15% less for the same work. This month, they're demanding faster delivery times. They never ask if we can actually do what they're demanding. They just issue orders and expect compliance. I understood completely. I'd watched Tyler pull this kind of garbage with other suppliers before, squeeze them until they break, then act surprised when they walk away. I spent the entire next week putting together a comprehensive proposal. Better payment terms that actually made sense, realistic delivery schedules based on actual production capabilities, a guarantee of consistent orders so Oliver could plan ahead and manage his workforce properly, technical specifications that were achievable without compromising quality. The whole package. Tyler barely glanced at my 15-page proposal. Just go there, he said, waving his hand dismissively. Go to Mexico and fix this mess. Make them happy. Do whatever it takes. When exactly next week? You'll be there 3 weeks, maybe a month. However long it takes to get this sorted out. My stomach dropped like a stone. That's a really long time to be away. Your son has family, doesn't he? Your brother Carter? Figure it out, Nathan. This is what you're paid for. Mason cried hard the night before I left. That kid wrapped his arms around my waist and wouldn't let go for anything. Don't go, Dad. Please don't go away. I knelt down to his eye level, put my hands on his small shoulders. I have to go to work, buddy, just for a little while. Uncle Carter's going to stay with you, and you love Uncle Carter, but it's my birthday soon, he whispered, and those words nearly broke me. Something cracked inside my chest. I know it is. I'll be back before your birthday, I promise. That was a promise I couldn't keep. I flew into Guadalajara on a Tuesday morning. The company had arranged a rental Ford F-150 and a room at the Holiday Inn Express downtown. Nothing fancy or luxurious, but it was clean and professional. I met Oliver the next day at his manufacturing facility, which was about an hour's drive outside the main city. The operation was genuinely impressive. Modern equipment, skilled workers who clearly took pride in their craft, everything running like a well-oiled machine. Oliver was 58 years old, had gray hair, and a firm handshake that spoke to decades of honest work. Victoria was 55, sharp as a razor, and handled all the business administration with the kind of attention to detail that made successful companies run smoothly. They welcomed me with coffee and homemade pastries while we got down to talking business. "Tell me exactly what you need from us," Oliver said, getting straight to the point. "Honestly, I need you to keep working with us," I replied. "But more importantly, I need to understand what's not working for you right now." We spent hours that first day going through technical specifications, delivery schedules, and quality standards in detail. Oliver took me through his entire facility, showing me their proprietary steel alloy process, something they developed and refined over 20 years of continuous improvement. It was genuinely impressive engineering, producing components that were both stronger and lighter than standard industry specifications. No wonder our automotive clients specifically requested Oliver's materials. "Your boss, Tyler," Oliver said carefully as we walked through the production floor, "he speaks to us like we're nothing. Like our work and our expertise mean absolutely nothing to him." "I know," I said quietly, watching his skilled workers shape precision components. "He treats everyone that way. It's not personal, he just doesn't understand what respect means." Victoria looked at me with something that might have been sympathy. "Then why do you stay with a company like that?" "Because I'm 48 years old with an 8-year-old son to raise," I said honestly. "Starting over at my age isn't exactly easy, especially in this economy. Mason needs health insurance, food on the table, a roof over his head. Sometimes you swallow your pride to provide for your family." She nodded slowly. She understood that kind of sacrifice. Over the next 2 weeks, I built something genuinely meaningful with Oliver and his family operation. We negotiated terms that actually made sense for everyone involved. I explained what Belmar truly needed for their production schedules. Oliver showed me exactly what his operation could realistically deliver without compromising their quality standards or overworking his people. We found that sweet spot where both companies could prosper. The technical discussions were fascinating. Oliver's steel alloy process wasn't just innovative, it was revolutionary. The components were 30% stronger than standard grade while weighing 15% less. For automotive applications, that translated directly into better fuel efficiency and improved safety ratings. This wasn't just about cost savings. This was about genuine technological advancement. Then Oliver insisted on something completely unexpected. "I want you to be our primary contact person going forward," he said firmly. "Not Tyler, not anyone else from your company. Every agreement goes through you personally. Every technical specification gets approved by you directly. Otherwise, we don't continue working with Belmar." "I'm not the decision maker," I protested. "I'm just a coordinator. I don't have that kind of authority." "Then we give you that authority for this relationship," he said with absolute conviction. "You understand our work. You respect our process and our people. That man, Tyler, he doesn't understand anything except pushing people around and cutting costs." I didn't fully grasp what Oliver was doing at the time. Later, I realized he saw something I couldn't see yet. He recognized that Tyler was systematically using me, taking credit for my technical expertise and relationship-building skills, then treating me like I was expendable. Oliver wanted to protect what we were building together by making me indispensable to the partnership. Back home, Tyler would send messages at all hours of the day and night. "Where are we with the contract? When is it getting signed? What's taking so damn long?" I'd patiently explain that building genuine trust and technical partnerships takes time, that rushing the process would damage everything we were trying to accomplish. He'd respond with messages like, "I don't need excuses, Nathan. I need results, and I need them yesterday." The worst incident happened during week 2. Tyler insisted on joining one of my video calls with Oliver to speed things along. It was an absolute disaster from start to finish. Tyler interrupted constantly, made inappropriate jokes that didn't translate culturally, and treated Oliver like he was some kind of uneducated factory worker instead of a skilled engineer and business owner. After Tyler abruptly left the call to attend another meeting, Oliver said quietly, "That man has no respect for anyone but himself." "I'm really sorry about that," I said, genuinely embarrassed by Tyler's behavior. "Don't apologize for him." Oliver replied firmly, "You're not responsible for his character. You're not him, Nathan." Meanwhile, Mason's 9th birthday came and went while I was still in Mexico. I sent presents through express shipping, recorded a video message singing happy birthday, and called him 3 times that day. My brother Carter told me later that Mason cried when he opened the gifts because all he really wanted was his dad to come home. "He just wants you here," Carter said during one of our calls. "The presents are nice, but they're not you." "I know," I whispered into the phone, feeling like the worst father in the world. "Just a few more days. I'm almost done here." Finally, after 3 long weeks of intensive negotiations and technical discussions, we had everything perfectly in place. A comprehensive agreement that made sense for both companies. Terms that respected Oliver's operational capabilities while meeting Belmar's production requirements. A partnership that would bring Belmar $85 million worth of premium steel components over the next 2 years. Enough high-quality material to supply our entire automotive division and position us as a leader in the industry. Oliver's family would benefit substantially from the steady, well-paying work. Belmar would benefit from access to superior materials that would give us a genuine competitive advantage. Our automotive clients would benefit from better performing components. Everyone would win, a true partnership rather than an exploitative relationship. The official signing ceremony was scheduled for Thursday morning. Oliver insisted on doing it properly, with his entire family present, and a small celebration afterward. He treated the moment like it genuinely meant something important, which it did. This wasn't just a business transaction. It was the foundation of a long-term relationship built on mutual respect and technical excellence. I was genuinely proud of what I'd accomplished. For the first time in years, I felt like I'd done something that truly mattered, something bigger than just surviving day to day and collecting a paycheck. I'd built a bridge between 2 companies, 2 cultures, and created value that would benefit everyone involved. That Wednesday evening, I was sitting in the Holiday Inn lobby, double-checking all the final documentation for the next day's signing ceremony, making sure every technical specification was perfect and every delivery schedule was realistic. My phone buzzed with an incoming text message. Tyler's words appeared on the screen like a punch to the gut. "You're fired. Card canceled. Figure it out yourself." I stopped breathing. Read the message again. Then a 3rd time. No explanation, no warning, no phone call. Just those 8 brutal words that ended 15 years of dedicated service. I immediately checked my company credit card on the banking app. Tyler wasn't bluffing minus. The account was completely frozen. I was officially stranded in Mexico with $240 cash in my wallet and a return flight that was probably canceled along with everything else. After 3 weeks of intensive work, after missing my son's 9th birthday, after eating cheap street tacos to save the company money and staying in budget hotels instead of nicer accommodations, after doing everything they asked and more. And Tyler Rodriguez had the nerve to call me a loser. My fingers moved almost automatically. I typed back slowly, carefully. "Thank you for letting me know." What else could I say? My mind was completely blank, utterly empty. I sat on a cushioned bench in that hotel lobby for maybe an hour, possibly longer. People walked past speaking Spanish, dragging their luggage, living their normal Wednesday evening lives while mine collapsed around me. I kept thinking about Mason, wondering how I'd explain this to him, how I'd even get home to face him. Would I have to call my brother Carter and beg him to wire money for a flight? The humiliation of that possibility felt almost as devastating as Tyler's text message. Then something fundamental shifted inside me. Not anger exactly, something colder, more calculated, more dangerous. I looked down at my leather briefcase. Inside was a folder containing the unsigned agreement that I'd spent 3 weeks perfecting. The one worth $85 million to Belmar Industrial. The one that would save their entire automotive division and position them as an industry leader. The one that Oliver Fernandez had specifically structured to require my personal approval on every technical specification and delivery schedule. I stood up from that bench, walked out of the Holiday Inn lobby, and found my way to the rental F-150 in the parking garage. I drove back to Oliver's facility one final time, my hands steady on the steering wheel despite everything falling apart. It was dark when I arrived at the steel works, but the lights were still blazing inside. Oliver and Victoria were working late, finishing up paperwork and preparation for the next morning's signing ceremony. They looked genuinely surprised when I walked through their office door unannounced. "Nathan," Oliver said, concern immediately visible on his weathered face. "Is everything all right? You look terrible. They fired me," I said, the words coming out flat and emotionless. "Tyler sent a text message an hour ago. Said they're cutting me loose, canceled my company card, told me to find my own way home." Victoria's hand flew to her mouth in shock. Oliver's expression went hard as granite, the kind of anger that comes from witnessing genuine injustice. "After everything you've done," he said quietly, his voice barely controlled, "after 3 weeks of dedicated work. After you missed your son's birthday to be here building something valuable for them." "Yeah," I said simply. "Where are you staying tonight?" "The hotel, I guess. I've got enough cash for maybe 2 more nights. After that, I'll figure something out." Oliver and Victoria exchanged one of those wordless conversations that married couples can have after decades together. Some kind of understanding passed between them. "The signing ceremony tomorrow," Oliver said carefully. "What do you want to happen?" That's when I fully realized what he was asking. Oliver wasn't wondering if the signing would proceed as planned. He was asking me what I wanted to do with the power I didn't even know I possessed. "What do you mean exactly?" "This agreement," he said, gesturing toward the contract document spread across his desk. "It's written with your name as the required technical contact. You personally approve all specifications. You personally authorize all delivery schedules. The contract specifically states that Belmar Industrial must deal directly with you to access our steel components. That's what we negotiated and agreed to." The implications hit me like a physical blow. "But I don't work for them anymore." "Exactly," Oliver said with grim satisfaction. "So why would I honor any agreement with them?" The weight of his words settled over me slowly. "Without me, there was no deal. Without me, Belmar had no access to the premium materials that their automotive clients specifically demanded." "They'll send someone else," I said. "Tyler will try to renegotiate with a replacement." "Let him try," Oliver replied firmly. "I won't speak with them. My family won't speak with them. We built this technical partnership with you personally, Nathan. Not with that disrespectful man who treats people like garbage. But what about that other company? The one that's been contacting you?" Oliver's smile wasn't pleasant. It was something sharp and calculating. "Apex Industrial Solutions," he said. "Yes, they've been pursuing us aggressively for almost a year now. Better payment terms, more respect for our technical expertise, genuine partnership instead of exploitation. We always declined because we had a commitment to Belmar. But now," he shrugged expressively, "now Belmar has demonstrated exactly how much they value loyalty and professional relationships." "You'd really walk away from $85 million? The money isn't disappearing," Victoria said gently but firmly. "It's just going to flow toward someone who appreciates the people who make it possible." I felt something that had been clenched tight in my chest for years finally beginning to loosen. Something I'd forgotten existed. "There's something else you should know," Oliver continued. "Apex contacted us last month asking if we knew anyone who could coordinate their international sourcing operations. Someone with deep technical expertise and established supplier relationships. Someone who understands both the engineering requirements and the human side of building partnerships." He paused meaningfully. "I have someone specific in mind now." He meant me. I can't take that kind of risk. I said automatically, I need to get home to my son. I need to find stable employment. I can't afford to experiment with my career. "You need to stop letting people treat you like you're worthless," Oliver said with quiet intensity. "This man Tyler discards you like garbage after you've built something genuinely valuable for his company. And your first instinct is to rush home and find another person who will exploit you the same way. I have responsibilities. I'm 48 years old with a child to support." "This isn't a risk," Victoria said firmly. "This is you finally taking what you've rightfully earned. You built these relationships. You developed the technical expertise. You did the work. Why should Belmar benefit from any of it after treating you like you're disposable?" I looked at the unsigned agreement sitting on Oliver's desk. 3 weeks of my life. 3 weeks away from Mason. All those technical discussions, all those relationship-building conversations, all that trust I'd carefully constructed. And Tyler Rodriguez had called me a loser and left me stranded. "What would I need to do?" I asked quietly. Oliver's expression softened slightly. "Tonight, nothing. Stay here with us. We have a guest room upstairs. Tomorrow morning, I'll call Apex Industrial Solutions. I'll tell them that Belmar is no longer a viable option. I'll introduce them to you as our recommended technical coordinator. Then, he continued, I'll call your former boss and inform him that there will be no signing ceremony. I stayed in their guest room that night. Clean sheets, a bed that felt like sleeping on a cloud compared to the Holiday Inn. Victoria brought me coffee and fresh bread for breakfast. She sat with me while I ate, not saying much, just providing quiet support. My father used to tell me something, she said eventually. When someone shows you who they really are, believe them the first time. Your boss Tyler showed you exactly who he is. Don't give him a second chance to prove it again. I thought about that all night, about all the times Tyler had demonstrated his character and how I'd ignored it because I needed the job, because I was scared, because I thought I didn't have other options. The next morning, Oliver made his phone calls. First, he contacted someone at Apex Industrial Solutions. Yes, this is Oliver Fernandez from Fernandez Steel Components. We spoke last month about a potential partnership. Is that opportunity still available? Excellent. I have someone you absolutely need to meet. He's the technical expert who built the relationship between us and Belmar. He's brilliant, experienced, and now he's available. Then Oliver called Tyler Rodriguez. He put the call on speakerphone so I could hear everything. My hands were trembling, but I kept my expression calm and controlled. Tyler answered on the second ring, his voice brisk and impatient. Oliver, finally. I've been trying to reach you since yesterday. Are we all set for this morning's signing? No, Oliver said clearly. We are definitely not set. Complete silence on the other end. What exactly do you mean by that? Tyler's voice had changed, become harder and more demanding. I mean, there will be no signing ceremony, no agreement, no partnership. Fernandez Steel Components will not be working with Belmar Industrial under any circumstances. Is this about money? Because we can negotiate better terms if that's what this is about. This is about respect, Oliver said firmly, something you clearly don't understand or value. Now wait just a minute here. I don't know what Nathan told you, but he told me you fired him, Oliver interrupted coldly. After he spent 3 weeks here working harder than anyone I've ever seen, after he built something valuable for your company, you threw him away like he means absolutely nothing. That's an internal personnel matter, Tyler said, his voice tight with barely controlled anger. It has nothing whatsoever to do with our business arrangement. It has everything to do with it, Oliver replied. Nathan was our business arrangement. We negotiated with him. We built technical specifications with him. We trust him completely. We don't trust you at all. Therefore, there is no arrangement. You can't just do this. We have a verbal agreement. We have commitments. We have nothing. Oliver said with finality, and now I'm transferring our business to Apex Industrial Solutions instead. They've been requesting a partnership with us for almost a year. We always said no because we thought we had loyalty with Belmar. But Belmar demonstrated no loyalty to the person who made our partnership possible. Wait, don't hang up, Oliver ended the call. I stared at him in amazement. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it might burst through my chest. You really just destroyed an $85 million deal. No, Oliver said calmly. I protected an $85 million partnership by moving it to people who understand its value. Apex Industrial wanted to meet me that same afternoon. Oliver arranged everything. Catherine Hayes, their CEO, was a sharp 42-year-old woman who got straight to business. Oliver speaks extremely highly of your technical expertise. She said during our meeting, tell me about yourself and what you're looking for. I told her the complete truth about Mason, about my 15 years at Belmar, about building supplier relationships because I understood both the technical requirements and the human elements of partnership. About being stranded yesterday but choosing to be here today instead of rushing home defeated. Because Oliver helped me realize something important, I said. I'm exceptionally good at what I do. I understand metallurgy, quality standards, and how to build trust with manufacturing partners. And I'm finished working for people who don't recognize or appreciate that expertise. Catherine smiled with genuine interest. Oliver mentioned you developed an $8.5 million technical agreement. Can you replicate that success for us? Absolutely, I said without hesitation. Then let's discuss what you need. Salary expectations, travel requirements, flexible scheduling because you have a son, everything. No one had ever asked me what I needed before. I told her about requiring time with Mason, about wanting compensation that reflected my expertise, about needing respect for my technical knowledge and relationship building abilities. Done, Catherine said immediately. All of it. We'll start you at $95,000 annually, plus equity participation. When can you begin? 6 months later, Belmar Industrial filed for bankruptcy protection. Without Oliver's premium steel components, they couldn't fulfill their automotive contracts. The equipment they managed to produce with substitute materials was inferior quality. Clients returned orders, canceled contracts, demanded refunds. Tyler Rodriguez lost his job when the company restructured. His reputation in the industry was permanently damaged. Meanwhile, I became Senior Technical Director at Apex Industrial Solutions. My relationships with suppliers across North America helped them become a major player in industrial manufacturing. Mason is proud to tell his friends that his dad has a really cool job building partnerships with companies around the world. A year later, at Apex's new facility opening in Houston, Mason held my hand as we toured the production floor. Every piece of equipment was built with components I'd sourced through relationships I'd developed. "Did you really help make all this happen, Dad?" he asked, eyes wide with amazement. "I helped connect good people who do excellent work," I said, "and I get paid well for it, which means we can afford that new baseball glove you've been wanting." His face lit up with pure joy. "Really? Really?" That night on the plane home, Mason fell asleep with his head on my shoulder. I thought about everything that had changed since that devastating text message in Guadalajara. Tyler Rodriguez had called me a loser and thrown me away like garbage. Instead of destroying me, he'd freed me to discover my actual worth. Sometimes the best revenge isn't destruction, it's refusing to save someone from their own terrible decisions. Sometimes the best revenge is finally choosing yourself, no matter how old you are or how scared you might be of starting over. At 48, I learned that standing up for your own value isn't selfish, it's essential, and it's never too late to walk away from people who treat you like you're disposable. Your expertise and relationships are your real currency. Never let anyone convince you they're worthless just because they can't see the value you bring. The people who throw you away today will scramble to get you back tomorrow, but by then you'll have found those who appreciated you all along.